Hi there and welcome back. We're into part 9 now, and we're halfway through managing to get the player able to win, so the team's able to win, and we just need to finish that off. So I'd like to start this video just by doing a really simple message system, so we can see some feedback from the game on the screen as we play. So we'll just start with that. We're just going to go straight to the game scene, and we're going to add a simple text box on there. So inside the game manager there was a canvas and the game panel and the pause panel. What we're going to do on the game panel is just create a new, from the UI, a new text box. I'm just going to change a couple of these settings. So I'm just going to make the size up to 24 and make it all center aligned. And I'm just going to make the box quite a bit bigger. I'm going to put some messages in this as we play. So I'm just centering that again. We'll leave it as black text that you can make it look pretty at some point. So the way we're going to do this is just from the game manager. So if I just jump to the game manager script, and where we have all of the other canvases, I'm just going to put another public text element, and we'll call this message text. That'll be fine. The reason I wanted to do that is because you just get no feedback right now, and it's kind of important if we have something. So I'm going to create I'm just doing this underneath the start function for no real reason. I'm just going to create a function to display a message. And there's a couple of ways of doing this. I wanted to do it as an IEnumerator one, so just gonna do that. So so an IEnumerator allows us to run it as a coroutine, so we can display the message for a certain length of time and then it'll go away again. So we'll call this display message, and we'll take a string and we'll call the string message. So if I can spell correctly, so string message. And all we're really going to do is set that text element. So we called it message text, that box, and we'll set the text of that to be equal to the message. And then we'll wait. So we'll do the yield return new wait for seconds, and pass in just a couple of seconds, and then I'm getting an error because I've got an extra S in there, so there we go. Message. Message. They want that to be message. There we go. And the last thing would be just to set that message text back to just a blank. So just use a blank string there. So if we run this coroutine, it'll display whatever it is we pass to it for 2 seconds in that box in the middle, and then get rid of it. And just to test it, what we'll do is just when we start, send a message, and we'll just do the start coroutine and choose display message and pass it, I don't know, something like fight, and that will display the message for 2 seconds as we begin. So test this and run it, make sure that it works, and we'll go on to the next part. So I'm assuming that you got the same error as me, and that when you started it you got a null reference exception because I never showed you to apply this text. I renamed mine to message text, but inside the game manager we created that public slot, and now in the last clip just forgot to assign that in there. So if you just run this by going to the lobby and hit play, you'll see that you get the message up. So you join one of the teams once we're connected, and you get the fight message that disappears after 2 seconds. So it's kind of going to give us some feedback as we do the next part. So we'll move on to the next part. So basically inside the update function, we want to just check what the scores are. So we're just going to do this in here. So just do check score and win, and we're just going to say so we'll just do there's a couple of ways of doing this, and when I was testing it I decided on this way. So only the master client should change the levels, and we're going to do that through events, but I think we can just check the scores so we can display a message. So if the red score is greater than or equal to, we'll just make it 2, just because we don't want to have to test for too long. We could make it 3 actually. So if the red scores get to 3, then we want to display that message. So we can say start coroutine, display message, and we'll say red wins. And effectively what you want to do is do some kind of, if you're the master client, we want to just restart the level somehow, or send restart event, and we're going to do that in a little second. I'm going to create a function for that, but we'll just get this bit done. So we'll do if the blue score, so if the blue score is greater than or equal to 3, and again I apologize for not having this coded as this value here should really be somewhere else. It should be, rather than hard coded here, it should be either at the very least a variable at the top of your code, so it's public, so you can change it, but we're just flying through things. So again we're going to do this start coroutine and display a different message, which is that the blue team wins. The messages are going to be sent along, and then we're going to restart this level. So if you want to build this and test this, you are welcome to go ahead and build it and test it, but we're going to implement the next thing, which is just the event for doing this in the next part. Alright, so the next section is just going to do this raise event. Now the raise event is in the Photon Unity networking documentation. It's actually a clever way of doing it. The event systems within Unity are actually a really cool system for having objects subscribe to events that are raised by another object, and allowing that lack of connection. The event that subscribes to the object that subscribes to this event doesn't actually have to know anything about it. So this kind of makes a bit of sense, and it's a good way of doing it. So you can read that in the documentation, but we're just going to do a really super quick implementation of that inside of our game manager. So are we in the game manager? No, we're not. We're in the game manager now. So the way you're going to do the events is that you have to create basically a bytecode that you can use for the code for the event. You can have up to 200, I think. So I'm just going to create it recommends doing it as private, but I'm going to use a public. I'm going to make it static because I want to be able to access it from the health script as well. And I want to make it a byte, and I'm going to insist that it's read-only as well. It does recommend that you do this so that we can't accidentally change that in code. And we're going to call it restart game event code, and it's a long name, but it's a descriptive one. So restart game event code. I'm just going to set this as number 1. Then we're going to go down to our basically a restart game. So I'm going to create a restart game function, and for now we're going to make this restart game function just a non-coroutine, so we'll just run it instantly. So we're going to call this restart game. It's funny I always spell it like that, and we don't need any parameters right now. So a few things that we need to do. Obviously we need to set the scores to 0, so red score and blue score all equal 0, and then we're gonna do the Photon network, and then raise event. Now this raise event function, it takes a bunch of really interesting parameters, and you can create them sort of in line here, but maybe to make things a bit clearer, we'll create them before we we run this raise event. So we'll just comment that out so it doesn't annoy me just now, and we're going to create the raise event options first of all. So we'll call this yeah, just use that default one, raise event options, and we'll make that equal to a new raise event options, and we're just going to create some of the values for it right here. So receivers equals receiver group dot all, so we send it to everybody including this one, so including this client. So the master client as well should get this too, so that we it does the same things for all of us. The next thing weirdly is this exit games dot client dot photon dot send options. Now you could put all of this part as a using up top, but because we're really only going to use it once, it's simple to put it there. So we'll call this one the option that it gives us, send options, and we'll make it equal to a new one of those, and initialize it. And the send options we want is reliability equals true. So we want it to be sent reliable, so that we're absolutely certain that everybody will get it. And it won't be out of order or anything. So we've created those two items that we need for this Photon Network raise event, and if I just get rid of that first one and we can look at it again. So we need first of all the event code, so we created that, and then we could send it further content as well. If you needed to pass information, you can create an object that is an array of information, so similar to what we've done over here, but we're just gonna, we don't need to send it anything, we just need it to raise this event with those options. So it goes to everyone and it goes reliably to everyone. So we just get on with doing that. So I think I called this restart game event code, and we're going to pass null for the extra data, and I called the raise event what did I call it, raise event options, and send options was the other variable that we created. So this in theory will just create the raise event options, create the send options, so we're sending it reliably and we're sending it to everyone, and then it will raise this event. That's really it, other than making sure that we display the message, and then if we are the master client, so only if we are Photon Network is master client. So is master client. So only if you are the master client do you want to restart the game. So otherwise the other clients will be trying to restart the game at the same time, and they might do it before or they might do it after, and it will be a disaster. So I want to just make sure that we copy that and paste that up here as well. So I know it's not the neatest code, but it is functional and it does what it's supposed to do. So only the master client is allowed to restart the game, and the restart game raises an event. So that's that part done, and in the next bit we're going to be receiving the event inside of the health script. Alright, so the health script needs a couple of changes to it to get this to work. So a couple of we need to include the real time, so photon.realtime as well, because we're going to be using the on event callback. So this is an interface on event callback. When you add this interface, you'll be given this implement interface tick box. If you just do that, it'll allow you, it actually adds another using, which is kind of cool. So we go all the way down to the bottom where this has been created. So it gets the on event function, this method, for us, and it will fire when event is activated. So this, whatever happens when we get the event, it'll end up in here. Now if you've never done event systems or anything before, basically you have to subscribe to the event, so you have to say that this object will subscribe to that event, And the handy way about how this is done within Photon is that you can use the Photon network, which is a singleton, to do that. So we're going to just do on enable. So if you on enable, will happen when this game object is enabled, and that's where we subscribe. So we're just going to say Photon network dot, and we use the add callback target, and this is all in the documentation, so you should be able to find it. If you don't need to remember all this stuff. The important thing with using subscription methods is that you need to unsubscribe as well. So we're going to use the on disable, which is the opposite of the on enable, and make sure I can spell. And the on disable, we do the opposite. We unsubscribe. So Photon network dot remove callback target this, and this will just make sure that there's no memory leaks and that that the event isn't being sent to nothing. So we are able to unsubscribe from it. So in here is now this on event. When the event is triggered by any object on the Photon network connection, this will be picked up by the event, and it will run any code that's gone in here. So if we think about this, what do we really need to do? Well, first of all, we should probably check that the Photon event is correct. So we're just going to say if the Photon event dot code is equal to when we made this is why we made it static, the game manager dot restart game event code. So that means that we're just checking that it's the right event. You could have a number of events, hundreds of events potentially in your game, and you need to make sure that you do the right action for the right event. So what do we want to do? Well, we want to set the scores back to 0. Now this is just to be absolutely sure, because we're actually setting the score back to 0 on the connected clients. Now the last time when we did this, we were only going to be doing it on the master client. So we're just going to, potentially I'd need to test this again, but this is how, when I was running through in my tutorial, just making sure I knew what I was doing, this is how I managed to do it. The other thing is making sure that our health goes back up to 100, so that we're able to not be instantly dead because we're restarting the game. And the last thing would be to look up to here. So we have our respawn function, and we're able to just run that as a coroutine. So we've got our respawn function anyway, so we'll just do the respawn now. So we'll start coroutine respawn, and I believe that is it. So we've subscribed to the event. This event, when it gets fired by the master client, should be picked up by all of the connected clients that have a health script. This isn't. This is running on all of them, and it should just respawn. So I'm thinking that this is going to be kind of okay. So I'm just going to pause this and test it, and I'll tell you if there's any bugs. So everything seems to work fine, and there is one tiny little bug. So you can see that when you get to a score of 3, the game restarts, and I fell off. But you'll see that the message only popped up on the master client, and in the next little section, I'm just going to show you how to fix that. So more or less, the simple method is we want to turn this restart game. We want to do it. We don't want to do it instantly, because what it's doing is it's instantly restarting the game. It's sending that message, that event instantly, which is effectively not allowing time for the player to display the information from the message. So we're just going to turn this into a coroutine. So this restart game. So turn it into a coroutine. We're just going to make it an IEnumerator type, and we're going to add in just a delay after we've reset the score. So make sure it's after you reset the scores. Yield return new wait for seconds, and we'll just do the same value of 2. If you didn't do that and you waited 2 seconds before you reset the score, it would be every frame it would be trying to reset the game, because the scores wouldn't, this condition would be still true, so it would end up displaying the message and trying to restart the game, so not good. So we've turned that into a coroutine now, and we just need to make sure that we run it as such. So start coroutine goes around restart game, and we do the same with this one. Start coroutine, restart game. So that makes this now the coroutine. So it should do the first little bit, wait a couple of seconds, and then raise the event. So we should get the message appear on the screen from this display message, and then everything should reload, and well, everyone should be respawned back where they're supposed to be with health back up again. So yeah, I'm just going to quickly pause the video again, and we'll test it and show you it in action. So as you can see, I've got the pretty much basic mechanics of the game, including win conditions. So we're able to run around, we've got teams set up, and if we get to a certain score, we get a message pops up, the game restarts and everyone gets respawned. What's really missing from the game is any sort of graphics, animation or level design. So you've got the mechanics from the game. I'm going to post, like I have done with the other few episodes, I'm going to post this code on GitHub, and then you'll be able to find that from the description in the link. And I hope you're enjoying the series. I've got potentially gonna do animations in the next one, and maybe some level design as well. I'm just patting myself on the back because thanks to everyone watching this, I've managed to make it to 500 subscribers, and yeah, so I'm pretty pleased with myself. So we'll be doing some more multiplayer games. Please put some comments in if you want, and like and subscribe, and tell people if you're enjoying the series. There's a bunch more on my channel, and put some comments in about what you want to see next, whether you want to see animated characters or a different gun or something like that. So thanks for watching, thanks for sticking with it. Good job. See ya.